Hello again, friends. I'm Tammy Kay. Today's video, we're going to be talking about how to make a muted color palette for the fall. And so here's the example. We've got some really bright swatched colors. And then over here, I'm going to show you how to mute them out. It's very simple, very easy, fun color mixing. So let's get into it. All right, so spraying down our palette today. So this kind of color mixing is one of the easiest things, and I'll show you why. What we're going to do is we are going to create a muted palette and think about the color wheel because there are certain colors that are opposite. Let me show you. So this is the color wheel I was speaking about, and you've got all these colors on here. You've got your primaries, red, yellow, and your blue over here. And so all these three can be combined in different ways to make all these other colors out here. So when you are wanting to mute down a color for your fall palette, you're going to want to take the color that's the opposite on the color wheel. Now these, for example, red and green, look beautiful together when you put them next to each other. When you mix them, they become brown and mud. But if you want to mute your red to a little bit more subtle tone, you add just a tiny bit of green. And then all of a sudden you'll get a more toned down red. Same with the green. Take your green, add a tiny bit of red, and it's going to tone it down. So let's go ahead and see what this looks like. So we're going to start with kind of, what we were talking about. Let's go with red. So I'm grabbing red on my palette and we're just going to let it hang out right here. Now red by itself, this is a little bit of an orangey-ish red. It's got a little bit of that tone to it. And we'll put this over here, make that red little swatch so you can see what I'm talking about. All right, so pretty, so lovely. Don't try to make it perfect, okay? I know if I leave that white space, someone's going to be like, no, I can't handle it. So you've got your red. Now I'm going to clean my brush. And then I'm going to grab a little bit of my green. So I'm just going to grab this beautiful, which one? Let's do this sap green here. So I'm going to take a little bit of sap green. I'm slowly going to mix it in with my red. Not a lot because I don't want brown. And then all of a sudden, we're going to have a toned down red. So let's try that. All right, we'll put that over here. So now my toned down color is like so. And yes, I'm a messy painter, so there's that. But look at that. See that huge difference? I toned it down a lot. You could put less of that green and still have a brighter red. But all of a sudden, you've created a color that's still really pretty, but it's got that mutedness. So let's do, what should we do? Let's do the green. Just make it simple. So taking my sap green here, and these beautiful colors, there's nothing wrong with them. But sometimes we just want to mute things down, especially in the fall. We're going to have some of those subtle colors. So we're going to swatch that one out. Our sap green, beautiful colors. And you can see these two colors next to each other are really pretty, really beautiful. But we're going to tone it down. So now what I'm going to do, clean my brush, because if I go in with my green into my red, then I'm going to start muting that red, and we don't want that. Just a little bit of red, mixing it in, get more green here, a little more green, and then a little bit, and see, I did it anyway. Oh well, that's okay. Toning that down, you can see that red tone in there. It's really pretty. And now I'm going to add this in, and maybe we went a little too dark. If you go too dark and you start to get that brown color, and some people like that color. For some people, that's going to be what they're going for. If you want it to be a little bit less brown, just add a little bit more green back in. And there you go. It's very different, but it's the combination of those two. All right, well, let's start with the next one. We'll go with blue. So we've got this beautiful ultramarine blue on my palette. And because my palette is a mixture of all kinds of things, we're going to get some green in there too, and that's okay. So that nice bright blue, absolutely gorgeous. We'll put that down, swatch it out. So it's always nice to see what your original color is. I highly recommend, instead of just muting your colors, that you do swatch down the original so you can see the difference and see it really show up. So the opposite on the color wheel of blue is going to be orange. So we're going to grab this transparent orange. It's actually, I think it's a cadmium orange. Don't want too much. We're just going to start working some of that in to our blue. And you can see already, grab a little bit more blue, a little more orange. You can see that change, and this is really pretty. And we'll add this one in. So this is a great little lesson in color mixing, but specifically for the muted colors. Look at how pretty that is. I like that. Okay, so then opposite of that, if we were mixing the blue and a little orange into it, we're going to get some orange, a lot of orange. We're going to mix a tiny little blue into it. So I'm going to remember to clean my brush. Don't want to contaminate my blue. And I just take from this blue, not this one. We want that concentrated blue. It doesn't take a lot. And we don't want it to be too dark, right? So we're going to still keep that orange, but with that blue mixed in. So let's go ahead and swatch that out. I have to swatch the original orange too. I'm thinking pumpkins right here, you guys. It's definitely a nice pumpkin-y, orangey color. And then let's swatch out the original just so you can see the difference there. Really bright. There you go. And you know, this more reminds me of Halloween than fall, that really brightness. So just a little bit of that subtlety, you're darkening it down and you're taking out that intensity. All right, so the last two colors we're gonna do would be our yellow and purple. So grabbing this quinacridone purple, original swatching happening right now. Fill that in. All right, so we are going to take some yellow now. And I'm going to take the brighter yellow of the two. I have a cadmium, which is more of an orangey yellow. And then this one leans more, there's like a little bit of blue in there, that lemon yellow. It's kind of interesting how that works. So grabbing that yellow, a little bit more, mixing that in to our purple. It doesn't take a lot. A little bit in there. I still need a little bit more. So there's no exact measurement, guys. It's not really picking it up. Here we go. So there is no exact measurement. You're just playing with color. You just want to see a difference from the original color to the one that you're putting down. I feel like I'm not doing a good job with this today. Let's grab some more purple. Yeah, you want to see that change, whether it's subtle or drastic. Let's try this again. Let's try this again. We can always start over. And I want to see a change. All right, so let's watch this out. Yep, and it almost kind of leans to this gray color. Maybe a little more purple in there. So you can do a little bit of yellow for this or a lot of yellow for this, depending on, you know, the look that you're going for. Okay, and then the last one would be, of course, grabbing this yellow and swatching that out. Lemon yellow. And then you're not going to need much purple at all to totally change this. A little poke of color. Oh man. And then let's put this down. And there you are. A much more toned down yellow color. So if you're looking at your originals and you're seeing this really interesting bright palette of colors, swatching this out, and that doesn't scream fall at all. But if you go over here and maybe you wouldn't use all of these colors, but you're noticing, they still have the influence of the color, but they're a lot more muted and softer for the fall colors. Of course, you want to add in some browns to liven everything up, because things are turning brown in the fall. And so hopefully that makes sense and it's pretty easy. Keep practicing, add in different amounts of color. And also, I encourage you to try adding in 50-50 mixes of like the red and the green and the yellow and the purple and the orange and the blue, and just see what kind of a brown comes out. You can kind of compare them and see how they might be much more interesting and vibrant than just the regular brown on your palette. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed doing the color mixing today. It can be really fun and simple just to play with these colors. I encourage you to take your whole palette and just mute them together and see what you can come up with. Sometimes you like really bright, vibrant colors like I do, and other times we want colors that are just a bit toned down and subtle. So I want to remind you guys, I'm on Patreon, which is my membership platform. $3 a month and up from there, depending on the content you want, but it's all exclusive, drawing sheets, classes, tutorials, and so much more. And I've had it for 2 years, so you get access to the things that I put up every week, as well as 2 years worth of archives. Also, I have a new Skillshare class that just came out, and it's right there. It's linked down below, and it's on wet technique and how to use that for watercolor florals. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys soon in the next tutorial.